as much. This does somewhat weaken the Sejuani pick, but the Ashe is available. So is the Rumble. That has often been blinded in the top side because it's so incredibly easy to get Prio up there and make an impact across all of the game. He scales well, does well in early game fights. And Lucid's Nidalee is going to be what gets locked in here instead. So there's a lot of different things available here for T1. The Taliyah is up, for example. The Rumble is up. The Ashe is up. Sejuani is up. I mean, T1, they're like, okay, you got Nidalee. We have to get the max value out of this second rotation. And I think Ashe Rumble is so good. I mean, Maokai is also still available in this draft. So there's a lot of great picks that Oner can pick up here.
Yeah, and D+ can't deny that from them in this position because they first picked Nidalee. So, and now you got this Nidalee, the Leone's banned, so that takes away one of the mid ADs. But with Tristana available, this seems like a pretty clean and obvious answer here for Showmaker to pick up. And where else are they going to go with this one? Do they pick a...
Changed on this patch. It's a lot burlier than he was before. A little bit less glass cannon, but very like the way Kingen played it often.
Take away the Lee Sin. I mean, Oner is a fantastic Lee Sin, but there is still Poppy, Sejuani. I mean, there's a lot of power picks in the jungle left available.
Ashe Sejuani just seemed so obvious from the get-go. It's one of the most common combos. T1 have relied on it so much in the past and dominated with it. You just set up both of those ults on a single target. You shut down a Tristana. You can catch anybody and kill them. As we're looking different angles here.
No Ziggs, please. not for aiming. Twitch.
Maybe just a Zeri. Maybe that same starting letter in the draft. Yeah. Zeri Nautilus, perhaps? I mean, Zeri Lulu in this draft could work out.
You know who also got buffed on this patch? Yuumi.
True. But not really, though. That's just a pretend.
It still counts.
Kellen likes the Yuumi, though. I mean,
yeah, you know. There's no 100% lockdown just yet. Just cleanse, but it is Leona.
Okay, both of these picks are quite strong. And I feel like the Nautilus is better into Corki, but the Leona is quite good in skirmishes in the bottom lane and anti-dive, which can be quite strong into a draft like this.
There's a lot of talk here with Guma, so it looks like Keria is going to be playing the Ashe.
Yeah, it does look like that is going to be the case. Might be like, or?
No, Keria started talking. Yep, it's going to be the Renata Glask.
This Renata has a lot of value in team fights into the aggressive Aatrox, right, into Nidalee trying to follow up when the spears connect, and the kind of dive style where the Tristana goes in to blow up a target. Really strong into Leona. In lane, will have some power, but it isn't incredibly strong with Ashe specifically. It's stronger with picks like the Draven or a Kalista, where you can kind of all in and get the bailout and look for some really nice timings to actually punish the Zeri early. Whereas Faker is going to take, I think, in this draft some time to come online. I think a lot of this game is going to be for T1.
미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
All right, here we go. Nice little highlight on the Hall of Legends trophy there, as well as we do enter a game with Faker in it. And yeah, this is going to be a big one. I feel like, you know, DK could really make a huge mark on the beginning of summer for them if they could actually topple T1 here. And a lot of us, I say a lot of us, I think it was like 4 of us predicted DK to actually take this victory, and then everybody else did go for T1, which should amount to about 6 people. Well, it's a very common trait.
Well, the fire, and Showmaker will get his resistances back and see if Faker can make anything more out of this. Just press the attack for Showmaker as well.
He's getting pretty low, but Faker is going to explode. That's just first blood. Showmaker just going to kill him at 1 minute and 45 seconds into the game. Sure that they don't give this Drake away for free. There is some nice bot lane prio to the side of T1. Just with the range support matchup into the Leona, they were able to push that in early on.
Yeah.
But they're not able to utilize it to actually get this dragon just yet.
Yeah, with the Corki getting pushed in on now by Showmaker here, Faker is not going to be able to join. Level 6 advantage for Showmaker here for a moment as well. And we are potentially going to have some fireworks here.
Yeah, Faker's going in there. He's going to get the jump in from Showmaker and ult away as well. So essentially just a trade. But at the end of the day, it doesn't look like DK want to commit to a fight on the Drake. So they just back away, take the trade in mid, and now he's going to go up to the Grubs. A short trade in the top side. Looks like Zeus is winning that matchup as well.
Yeah, that's really huge for him. That's a matchup you want to be winning. He has the Swifties already. And as much as Huni doesn't like that, it is quite helpful into the Aatrox. It's a stylistic preference. Gonna see some attempted deny here, but it will be punished.
Yeah, looks like T1 want to go for the fight, but the Equalizer already online here. It doesn't really hit anyone except Kellen, but now Kellen is absolutely isolated. But you do see that Zeus and the rest of T1 will back away, as they do not elect to fight after Kellen got super low. And so it will be the Grubs over to DK.
Really confident play here from T1 to come over and contest that. The Equalizer with the Prio heads goes down, but like you said, it really only hit Kellen. And with the rotation of King coming over,
he's going to go in with the stun. There's the Equalizer, immediately flash away. But now we got a 2v2 on the bottom side. Guma getting very, very low as Lucid is coming in here. King does go down in the top lane, but Guma in a bit of trouble. Might have to flash away from this one. Flash in from the side of Lucid, and he will pick up the kill onto Guma. Gets there on time in the bottom lane to trade kills for the team.
Bottom lane, but the bailout does deny it from aiming. So watch this again. Kingen going in for the aggressive trade. Instantly flashes. Permafrost hits him. He is burnt down by the channel of the Q.
The 1v1, it looked fine, but besides that, not so much. Owner is going to show his face as we do have this. Aiming's in a lot of trouble, actually. He's just dead. He doesn't have cleanse. He just is going to get stunned up by the Ash Arrow. It's Ash Sejuani, and he just gets 100-0.
And neither player are buying the item or building towards it, but I feel like there's a lot of bot lane hubris going on, Valdez. So I see a little bit of aggressive play. In this case, just chain CC to death without cleanse. You got to know that is going to be how Sejuani Ash works. We've seen it a million times. You've got to deal with the Renata as well in this position, and that is going to be the Dragon going over. Now, top side, they will be able to get the second set of bubs, so that's a significant amount of damage to turrets for this Tristana later on. This is definitely a huge win for D+, but it felt like it came at the expense of definitely an overextension down there on the bottom side. So a death apiece for our AD carries, and Guma pulls ahead in farm once again.
Yeah. All in all, still a pretty turret, but for now, it's not really much. And now, no flash here for Zeus. He's just dead. He's just isolated on the top of the map. Kellen, once again, and baited by aiming, so nicely done by the duo of DK, and that's going to be Zeus going down.
That was a really good call just in general for D+, how slowly they played the Herald, knowing Zeus was near but wasn't there yet. Pushing T1 off of it, getting the reset as Faker tries to push mid. Showmaker, this Tristana can clear the wave so quickly, so he clears that. On the top side, it's a great play from Kellen. And as you mentioned, knowing there's no flash on Zeus on that previous trade on the top side, Kellen's the one who made it happen. He can call out no flash still on Rumble, go for the Zenith Blade there, pick up the kill. Significant damage done to the bottom turret by Kingen. Now trying to defend this one, he will not be able to, so it's a turret for a turret, but a kill going over to D+. Their gold lead here, pushing up
for this, as now we're going to go for it. The spear coming out of the jungle, and still no flash available for Zeus, as that spear won't land, but it doesn't matter. They got what they came for.
Man, they're just camping him now. He comes right back to lane without teleport and is blown up, and he has no TP still.
Jungle set up vision control, vision lead, and then Zeus thinks he's safe. He's right next to the turret, but that ward in the lane that you mentioned, that was really the big one. So now, aiming? Is he safe? I guess he is. Okay, he's just going to take that into the turret. And now they're engaging. Kellen going back in, maybe a little bit too deep this time around. Going to eat the arrow, but he's still alive. The follow-up, not quite there from T1 just yet. Kellen gets out alive as Equalizer going to be dropped down. Kellen, perhaps I spoke too soon. He's going to burn down, as Zeus will at least be able to trade that kill back, and that should be a Dragon here for T1.
Yeah, the timing of this is really going to hurt D+. The kill is in itself painful alone, but without this Leona, it's really difficult to contest. Kingen wants to do it, though. Owner's low.
Yeah, they want to fight this. I mean, Owner, with how low he is, they don't seem to know he's in the bush, and now TP's coming in as Showmaker getting back trying to isolate and assassinate the jungler, and now everybody doesn't have a frontline. Zeus is going super deep for the kill, but everybody else is just on the run as King in this very scary Aatrox will push them off the drain.
I mean, some of the best peel you're going to have in this team fight is going to be the Rumble, but he's chasing on the wrong side. And this ends up being a win here for 2, minus a dragon.
And look at this. Kellen, is it personal? Like, what's going on here? We're just bullying Zeus, and they might as well. I mean, again, he doesn't have flash in this situation. He used it in the last fight, and that's just another kill onto the Rumble. And that does mean that T1, though, are going to look for their own push in the top lane.
And there's no teleport for Showmaker to come back to defend.
Uh-oh, King in a lot of trouble here. They have way too much CC, and yep, he's just going to go down, so T1 able to trade it back.
And, you know, they still get the inner top side. I think T1 will be able to eventually do this. It's going to take them a really long time, but there's so much map control gained by D+ from this. And the Tristana is always going to outspeed basically anybody on the map at turret rate. T1 cannot do anything about this. Zeus just now getting his equalizer back. I don't know if they have Hawkshot. I assume not.
They all went back. I mean, yeah, there's the Hawkshot, but can they actually get into this pit? Kellen's going over as Equalizer comes down, but now Owner denied access to the pit. He will not get in, and the Baron goes the way of DK. Guma just dies. Not sure how that happened. And DK are just getting bonus kills across the map. Yeah, Kellen did have to sacrifice, but it is a big win.
This Tristana at 22 minutes.
Figures this up here in the top lane. He does not have flash, and he is trying to take down Kellen, but I can tell you he will not. As down he will go. Showmaker gonna get his...
Kingen can go start that dragon if T1 want to defend this turret that badly. In 20 seconds here, if he's left alone, he's actually pushing mid. And I mean, Baron buff is just so real here. It's just doing so much. T1 don't have enough wave clear to deal with it.
Yeah, the Void Grubs as well really helping out. I mean,
Clips is the big issue. And Leona getting on top of him means he just instantly dies. The Ashe has Kraken Slayer Trinity Force. You know, Ashe not always known for her high-level damage, but you can see actually second highest in the game at this point. But what she really needs to do in this game now is set up an arrow maybe into Owner getting somebody, into them getting a pick with Equalizer, because in the 5v5, I don't think you win these for now.
All right, they're trying to go on to the Leona once again, but yeah, he is going to go down. A bit of damage is traded back.
That's the kind of pick I'm talking about. At least he got something.
They did get Kellen, who has been really good in this game, but he does Hex Flash in, throw a Solar Flare into the wind. I mean, I guess it did kind of hit Guma, but that was about it, and then he does get punished for that. So now, DK still sticking around in a 4v5, and they don't seem to care. They seem confident to take these fights.
Okay, Zeus with no ult, but he's going on to aiming.
Yeah, aiming's getting in there. He is in a lot of trouble. Okay, really nice ult here from Showmaker to help him out. And the poke is still coming out from the side of DK to push them back. It's not going to happen. And DK, they are pushing in. As a squad, they're going to take out this mid-inner. And yeah, T1, essentially they just have to kind of turtle up in this red buff jungle. That's really the only way to get in, as now trying to catch Lucid. They may have just done it. Yes, they did. They put their CC to use. He doesn't have a QSS. And now Guma getting in there. He's got the damage items. He takes out Kellen. And a chance here. Guma.
Kingen's flanking.
Woo. The shield comes in from the Renata Glass. Kingen? Okay, I don't know why this keeps happening to Aatrox, is he's dead. Not sure what is going on in this game.
Just like that, T1's back in it, baby. All I need is a pick. All I need is an Ashe arrow into a Sejuani ultimate. We talked about it in draft so much, and it's what brings them back into this one. Now they're on the Baron. Showmaker and Aiming have something to say about this. It's not a freebie, but with this TP coming through, it's just so hard for D+ to contest. Their jungler's dead for 5. T1 are back in the game.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And that's going to be the Baron that does go down to T1. We'll see just how large the power play does get, because, you know, generally...
that are incredible, that are super good. We're like, wow, this man's improved. Then we've seen him in the same game make a call like that out of desperation.
Now, while they're trying to clear the waves here, as a lot of committal onto Kellen once again. Lucid wants to take the 1v1 versus Faker, and it might have baited him into it. Showmaker going over the top, but the bailout comes out. It doesn't matter, though, because the Zeri picks up a double kill in mid, and now they are on the chase, and they can chase so quickly. Not going to be able to close the gap just yet, but Aiming will, as he is Zeri. Going to try to slow down Keria here, as they do have the Leona over the wall as well. Keria definitely going to be sent to the fishes and will eventually die. And it does look like DK should be able to take this Ocean Drake as well.
Amy's like, come on, I swear to God, if you ignite him, I swear to God. All right, so now the Soul Point is going to come over. Do not ignite him.
Okay, I'm backing.
Do not touch
I won't
my
touch him.
gold. Do not touch my gold. You self-bailout.
I am the Gold King. You are not the Gold King.
Because, like, Carry has, like, carry threats that are larger than life.
Here we go again. Kingen going to be caught out, but this time he's got some help, and Zeus will be able to get the kill. But it will be also Kingen. Satine just really want to pressure all the lanes, and now they're going to find Faker. He still doesn't have his flash, and he is going to die again.
And there's no way that T1 could do anything about this either, because they don't have control of the Baron Pit. They don't have control of top. They backed away. Showmaker had TP this whole time, too, so had they been able to find an angle, he would have been able to join the Baron Pit. T1 going to have to be decisive. Keria lost his Celestial position. I think he's got it back now, but someone has to engage, and it's probably going to have to be Owner and Guma. But they've got QSSs.
Oh, yeah, you can see Owner's just getting zoned away, but now they're trying to turn up to Kellen. He's all alone. They immediately burst him down. So much for the tanky.
Okay, I don't
know. He is
know.
so deep, and now we have a TP coming in. And aiming, yes, he is going to QSS. He is trying to fight here against Faker, but he goes down immediately. Now Keria getting super low fake. Showmaker going to be isolated. Down he goes. And I guess aiming just assumed Kingen could get there on time and they could turn this around, but the case was not to be made.
I thought he was just going up so Showmaker could TP to the bottom wave or something. I don't know about this, but this is a disaster.
I don't think these two alone can kill Kingen, actually. They need an AD carry. Kingen on full health, and Guma is eventually coming over, and that'll get the job done, right? Yeah.
I was going to say, I have good news for you about this. He is coming. Well, I don't like to use the T. That's fine. This is not fine, as Owner just comes up and pushes onto aiming. Kingen is pushing way too deep, and Showmaker, I thought perhaps he was just going to push for bottom and say, you can't do Baron or I'm going to take your base. And the decision-making was clearly not that, because Showmaker just teleports into a Renata ult range and dies. Kingen's left alone, he buys time. But now in live, T1, nothing to do about it, you know, but if aiming just goes and dies and then he teleports to die too, I guess then T1 maybe wins the game.
Yeah, I mean,
good punish from T1, but, you know, D+, you asked for it.
Game is not over yet, but 2 minutes of Baron is going to be hard to deal with. T1 pushing right down the middle of the map, which actually the least valuable lane to push, but still going to take it. Maybe look to push one of the other lanes that are on the Baron buff, as Faker did go back and pick up a GA. Here comes the arrow, not going to hit anything, as that is a Zeri. As now Kellen going to get in front of that one, and now he's in a bit of trouble. Pretty tanky on the Leona, but not tanky enough. Down he will go. And even aiming took a bunch of damage from that equalizer. So Zeus, this Rumble, this Fed Rumble, a big pressure point in this game. And T1, they open up the base.
Kingen's also just trying to buy time, but he may very well be dead. Gets away from the handshake. Just trying to buy time. Kellen's up in 30, but man, this push is real. Baron's still up for 15 seconds here.
Well, they're going to prevent that back, and that means it's a 4v3 with the support going out. And yes, aiming is very scary. The ult comes out, and immediately T1 are going to back away from that one. They don't have Baron buff anymore.
Time definitely longest, and with these inhibitors down, pushing through the bottom, or rather the mid lane right now is the super minions. They just have to give this up, and Ocean Soul, not TP, but the timing of this, I mean, they could rush it down so quickly.
Yeah, there's just no way. And DK, they just got to back out of this one. But now Kellen, he's slowed forever, and the equalizer big once again, but that's on a 280 carries with a lot of peel. And now Kellen, he's not going to get whipped there. Flailed by the Sejuani.
Baker got hit by a spear, but he's got that Ocean Soul cranking.
Yeah.
His health back so quick.
He's got a Renata right there as well. The flash goes in, and immediately, oh! Down goes Zeus so quickly in trade of Kellen. And DK will take that, although aiming and Showmaker are both very low.
Yeah, they have to get back into the fountain, which means this inhibitor is going down no matter what. Bruised Nexus turret, and they're trying to push onto Kingen, who's TP'd for the flank.
Kingen, what's going on in this game, my guy? He's just been everywhere, man. He's just all over the map, and now he's trying to trade on a Faker. Very nice flash away from Faker as Kingen tried to flash on top of him. That will be the Aatrox going down.
Shaky call. T1 were already on the retreat, and even though Kingen is a big Aatrox, he went Randuin's, and it's buffed, or rather reworked Aatrox. We have changed, where arguably his damage is a little bit weaker to actually look for burst targets on this patch, and He goes for a flank there when T1 were leaving, I think a bit greedy. And now that he's down, I mean, T1 are ready to push again with Baron. He's not up for 35.
This is just like tower defense at this point, as we do have a nice handshake. And T1, I think they can just kind of group up for this one, take the bottom inhibitor. And again, nothing that TK can do without their Aatrox, even with Zeus not there. Now, speaking of which, Owner. And he's just going to go in on that one. Showmaker going to get CC'd up once again as he's in a bit of trouble. The Renata ult comes in, and that frontline aiming is just burning down. Down will go Kellen, down will go aiming. And it looks like T1 have finally done it, but Showmaker still alive. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to this base all by his lonesome with Lucid. In goes Faker, okay. Nice amount of damage done once again by Showmaker, but there's just too many guys here on the side of T1.
I think T1's done it. Valdez, the comeback was real. It wasn't easy, it wasn't clean, but the resilience, you can absolutely feel it.
For T1.
Ashe is open still, was not picked last game.
So's Nidalee Wolf.
True. So they can pick the Nidalee again and give the Ashe over once again. They can maybe try to take the Sejuani away. Let's see what they want to do here, as there's a lot of discussion, but it will ultimately be the Nidalee again. Not surprised by this. And we'll see what the answer is going to be here for the side of T1. The Taliyah completely ignored in the last game. But I imagine Ashe, Rumble, stocks are still high. Great performance on both players individually on these picks. And
yeah,
I mean, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it in terms of this part of the draft. So, alternatively, because you know, the crazy thing is because they pick Nidalee first in a situation like this, you know that you don't have to lock Sejuani now. So, you can get something else with this, like the Rumble. Steal the Tristana away is a good call, and that's what they're going to do. And with the Nidalee locked in already, it's a little bit less appealing to go Rumble here.
Yeah. That's a good call. I mean, Showmaker might just play Corki. You know, that's kind of the handshake we have nowadays in the mid lane, where it's like, okay, well, he got Tristana, so I'm playing Corki. Or he, you know, I'll play Tristana, and then the other guy plays Corki. And so we might just see the opposite way. But the TF I talked about, I mean, the bans made it very obvious.
I feel like...
And so they will pick it.
You could still go TF Corki here. Still feels pretty strong. And yeah, the Twisted Fate also is guaranteed CC for Nidalee Spears in whatever matchup they'll be playing on the top side. We don't know what that is going to be just yet. Now, this was super obvious to face off as D+. It will probably be top side, but it's definitely playable in the bottom lane.
Yeah. Also, Lucian was banned the last time around. It was Ezreal, Lucian, the bans. This time it's Zeri, Ezreal, and Aiming says, okay, I'll play Lucian. And if Lucian was banned somewhere along the way, probably could have just played Kai'Sa. I don't think Kai'Sa would have been great into an Ashe lane by any means, but, you know, in terms of picks that he's comfortable on, at least, you know, he's going to be having another one here with Lucian Nami, the classic.
I don't know if you really want to play Camille into that. Can be quite tricky. Can work out incredibly well if you do end up winning out on those early trades, but going to be the Draven Ashe lane instead, and the Camille will be going topside. So there is almost no more power you could have in a non-Kalista lane. Like, the Kalista's banned, right? But this is one of the most powerful, high damage with setup lanes, a kill lane to dream for, and it's Gumacaria playing it, so you can trust this bottom duo knows how to play it. They've probably played it countless times in scrims. And I don't have the data in front of me, but it's probably not the first time they played it in the LCK, because they play lanes like this all the time.
Yeah.
And if you look at the side of D+ Kia, they have a lot of single target lockdown. They have a decent amount
Top of the rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
And here we go. Aiming didn't buy any items. At least he realized, and he's not a jungler. Not going to call out any players that have done that on the international stage. But yeah, he's going to be able to get back and buy the item.
That's how you can tell somebody
And he's going to the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, there was a pretty good chance we were going to see a lane swap in this game because of the Twisted Fate situation.
Yeah.
and there's so much power in this because Twisted Fate has that guaranteed CC. Is going to be useful as a second jungler, essentially. But the setup here is now, you know, unknown to the side of T1, but they have both the Draven and Ashe in position to spot early. And Faker going to take a little bit of damage early, but is playing very respectfully. And look at where Zeus is as well, you know, just back. So not a whole lot of ways that this could go disastrously until... And if Aiming doesn't get a gank here from Lucid, like they can't really punish because of the Ashe slows, and that Dirk, like I mentioned, isn't going to necessarily do as much if you don't have control. Topside, Lucid is grabbing those grubs, though. I mean, every time we show this mid lane, I hold my breath after what happened last game.
Yeah, I expected this one to go the way of Faker, but actually towards the end it does look like Showmaker getting some extra chip damage as Faker's backing away.
Yeah, he's got plated steel caps and trying to heal through that fleet footwork. Level 6 for Faker now.
It's kind of an awkward look in the top lane right now. Was pushing
Camille's arrow.
Ooh, very close, and another dodge from Showmaker, but still going to be slowed up here. Permafrost coming in, and that'll force the flash finally. We have King in, but that's a Camille in the top lane, so...
Yeah, there's just not much this...
Not gonna gank.
This Nidalee can do until she gets some items here.
Lucid's going in there. I mean, Faker nearby, and immediately Lucid's just essentially going to have to flash over the wall here. Nearly going down as well. Zeus thinking about going very deep for that kill, but he's going to elect to push him away. Big fight here over the pubs, as Showmaker this time is going to manually input that emote, and Zeus is going super low. Over the wall goes Showmaker, as he's still alive. Zeus surviving for so long, and now Faker a big opportunity to potentially turn this one around. As Showmaker also extremely low, the permafrost does come in. But now the gold card off cooldown. They want to go for Faker, but guess who's here? It's Keria! He makes his way into the play as the Guma ult also sails wide, but this is still gonna go the way of T1 after all the shenanigans, as Showmaker also will bite the dust, as I expected. But meanwhile, Aiming and Kellen getting some big value here.
Lucid is trying to come up with some big plays, but is not coming up with much.
Yeah, they can't commit to that. Meanwhile,
scared, I think, knowing that Zeus' ult was coming back up there to look for the bubble after the tidal wave and just trying to kite back. Not going to get anything. As meanwhile, over here...
I don't know if T1 get this, but they are grouping up pretty heavily for it. The spear is going to go wide, and yeah, they don't want to tank it in front of two people. Oh, it's a really close race for that first blood turret.
Yeah, Faker's coming over here, too.
Low. So it is going to be first turret going to T1. So they get that advantage. They also have the Rift Herald here.
Yeah.
So it should be DK to get the Drake, you would imagine. But well, all three people backing, I guess not.
Yeah, I don't think they actually
Maybe
get
Lucid
this.
just solos it?
I think that's too risky. I mean, Zeus still has ult. Like, they just give that up, lose the first turret blood. So first brick goes over, and now they have control of this dragon. Guma's in position to mid to push through, so... being very awkward here for the side of D+. And you know, that moment just a few moments ago, I guess I should say, where Showmaker and Lucid try to get Faker. Like, without lockdown, it's so hard to catch this Corki, and Lucid has made such a low impact, unfortunately, on this game in terms of lane ganks because he doesn't have set up CC. It's something we talk about with Nidalee all the time. He does with a gold card in the top lane, but you can't gank Camille. It's way too risky. Once he gets more damage, even if there's outers, top and bottom are traded, the Void Grubs they have, they're trying to rush this down.
They got the 3. Owner doesn't have his ult. You know, nobody's really there to stop it. With Faker down in bot without TP, so there's not a lot of punish potential. DK recognize it, and a nice timing from them. They take the mid tier 1, and now
Faker, I mean, with this pressure in mid, he's going to try to grab this turret plus the charge. I mean, I think this is a lot of value here for T1.
The charge, it should happen. Will they get the T1, the tier 1 rather, is the question. As Owner's going to go in and go down, will the Rift Herald. So Faker should still get the bot one, but they're trading top and bot, so at the end of the day, this is still DK favored.
Yeah, Kingen not going to commit the teleport, or going to commit the teleport here to defend Kingen's push. Kingen's not going to hard commit either, so they won't get this turret. Faker gets the bottom turret. So a turret for a turret in mid, but the Faker angle was always there, and he is going to be successful with that one. And now they're going to get this mid turret anyway. So T1 definitely trading up. As 305 stacks now for Guma. He lost 264 as per production. Gave us the update on that one earlier. So fighting his way back into this game.
Well, Showmaker seems to not know. Trying to take a 1v1 here against Faker. The arrow goes wide. Is now Faker going to hop in. And the ult comes out from the Tristana to finish it off. But here is Lucid. Over vision, so Faker just going to flash away. And now with Keria nearby, he will be saved. That's the second time Keria gets there right in time to save his teammate.
So this time we'll save Shum.
Meanwhile, mid lane, aiming in a bit of trouble, but he does have some teammates nearby, and Zeus to overextend, as the Guma ult also not going to land, so they cannot finish off aiming. And they really wanted to get that pick onto the Lucian before this one, and now with Baron available, they want to start it.
Faker is going to try to split push a little bit. Okay, I take it back. He's backing here. It does have teleport, but D+ are trying to really put the screws in here and rush this down while the Camille is down.
They don't have anyone to tank this. I mean, this is what I was talking about.
There's no tank.
They don't have anyone. Like, not even an Aatrox.
Yeah. I mean,
no Leona.
Really, really rough. And Owner is coming over. Keria is about to have his ult back. Owner has flash, so trying to deny him entry into the pit is so difficult with the lack of CC they have. Kellen doesn't have ult either from the previous play, so Owner could have just as easily walked up flash smite. It's a 50-50. You don't want to take that against T1 at this game state. And that's another turret gone, so you commit to Baron, and T1 just walk away, +1 turret. They really wanted to follow up. After that, with the Camille down.
Infernal Soul this time around.
Wow.
So, you remember game 1, T1, they got the first 2 Drakes, but then it was Ocean Soul, and there wasn't a lot of priority on those Drakes, but now, I mean, now that the RC is done, okay, well, he's very fast, but Faker is closing the distance. Here comes Lucid, and that means they want to go in onto Faker as the spear's going to land, but immediately Lucid will be denied, but Faker in a lot of trouble as the big one hits him, and it will be enough. The bubble will miss, and now we got TP coming in. This is the Camille, as, yeah, Kingan's just dead here. And they're going to try to get this kill over to Guma. That's a double for Guma as well. They take down the top end jungle. And now it's T1 looking at the Baron.
Big cash-in will put him 400 gold ahead now of the 3-kill Lucian. So he finally takes a lead over aiming. Looking to take this Baron here as D+ grouping up.
Oh, Showmaker. Oh, he's going to get flashed on by Owner. Excellent play with the Arctic Assault flash. That's immediately going to catch him off guard. And Showmaker, with this flash, he does get away. Now, that does stop the T1 Baron, but it's just extra bonus gold for T1.
In terms of his relevance in this game, and now T1 just going to set this one up again. They have vision in this choke point, and I mean, D+, they have the Destiny Gate, but where are you going with it?
Are they going to get here on time? They look for Keria. He just flashes in, and now the ult comes out, and there's no entry for Lucid to make it into the pit. No hope of a steal. The arrow going to be thrown in. Showmaker wanting to keep this game, this fight alive for the side of DK. That's another gold card as they are going to push them into the west side jungle.
Gotta be so careful about chasing through here, though. Zeus has his ultimate. Woo! And he might just lock down whoever steps forward.
That's a culling, and more poke is coming out. They're trying to get this poke in, but now the engage comes out from T1. They pull the trigger, and Zeus is able to frontline Guma and Keria. They stay alive in the 2v2 as well as aiming goes down. It is a clean ace for T1 in game 2.
Yeah, and likely the last nail in the coffin here at 26 minutes. T1 looking to push and break open this base. And what is arguably T1's cleanest game of the season so far. Very, very one-sided affair. A few draft tweaks, a strong early game, great map reads, not shaken by the lane swap. And this is the bounce back T1 fans were waiting for in this series against D+. Game 1 definitely left you feeling a little shaky, but this is the win you were looking for.
Yeah.